What's up, y'all? It's Kareem Monet. Welcome back to my channel and happy new year. So I'm gonna do my makeup and just give you guys a story time about what happened with my wedding venue, my original wedding venue that I had. It was just so much that went on. I always knew that when you're getting married, like things just go wrong and all that stuff. Everything doesn't go as planned, but it was just like so much was just happening, and I was just like, yo, this is a lot. Everything else was so like minuscule compared to this situation. Let's just go back to the very beginning. So my husband proposed to me December 24th, 2020, and so literally the Capricorn that I am, I just started planning like almost immediately, like maybe a week after. And so I started to look at venues and all that stuff, and my wedding ended up being at my church. And originally I didn't want it to be at my church because of the fact that everything in my church is red. Like the carpets and all that stuff, the pews, everything was red. If it wasn't, then yeah, I definitely would have done it in my church from the complete beginning. But being like my colors that I wanted, I'm just a perfectionist. Everything would have just looked like terrible to me. So that was the only reason. And so that is why I went to look other places. So there was, I'm not gonna say like what venue it was. If you went to my wedding and you had the original invite, then you will know. It was actually really simple but beautiful, and it really fit my whole vibe. And it had like a rustic kind of feel to it, and it was definitely big enough. We weren't planning on inviting like a whole lot of people, which we actually did not invite a whole lot of people, but I just felt like it was just spacious enough, especially with COVID, and I didn't want a whole bunch of people being like up under each other, you know what I mean? So especially since we have our baby. Well, back then we didn't have our baby, but it just all would have worked out that way, like, you know, like everybody not up under each other. I had went on that app, the website called The Knot, and that's how I found it. Now there was like other places too that I saw, and they were just as beautiful, but my whole thing was they were across the water, and I didn't want to have to make my guests like travel across the water, because if you're from Virginia, we not finna go across the water. So that was the whole thing. So this place, it was right in Hampton, and so it was just like, it was close, you know, and it just seemed like the perfect place. I didn't even moisturize. We did look at other places, but that place was just like, I loved it. He loved it. We went on a tour of it in February, and we fell even more in love with it. And so when we went on the tour, I don't remember this lady's name. We're gonna call her Rebecca. Now Rebecca, she was nice for the most part, but it seemed like she was kind of being like, she was judging like too quickly. Like it seemed like she just assumed that we were just a whole bunch of blacks that were just gonna tear the place up, you know what I mean? And that should have been like a red flag right there. But that's how she was acting, like we was gonna do everything illegal, because my mom had mentioned, now my mom knows a lot of people in a lot of different fields and things like that, so she actually knew someone that can serve the drinks, the alcoholic beverages, that had an ABC license. Like it's legit their job, all that stuff. So my mom's whole thing was she was just gonna stick to the people that she knew, you know, just to support friends and things like that. So the lady kept saying, well, you know, they have to have, like, she kept like emphasizing the fact that they had to have licenses, things like that. Like she just assumed that we were just going to do everything illegally. But I was just like, you know, whatever, the place is beautiful. I want to get married here. So the way she explained everything to us, we understood there was going to be like certain fees that we would have to pay because of those things. And we understood everything, like all the rules and regulations, all of that. She explained to us like all of the like deposits and like the timeline when things needed to be paid. And once she said like an event will be canceled, anything like that, the actual deposit to book with them was due like literally just immediately, only because that place, they do book up fast. Just to get the date that we wanted, September 25th, we had to hurry up and do it, because I mean it was 2 years out, but she even showed us like they actually book up pretty quickly. Now this place was very expensive, but that was going to be the only expensive thing that we actually paid for, was the place. And they had almost just about everything included in the price, and which, you know, they had security, all of that stuff. So that's what we liked about it. They had everything supposed to be, and it was the whole total, since we were going to have it on a Sunday, the whole total was around $6,000. I can't remember exact numbers, but it was around $6,000. And just for the venue, she added in all of the linen and things like that we were going to rent. She added all of that into the price. Keep that in mind. And in the contract, it literally said like everything was included. She already did all of that, like when we were there touring. Like after we toured, we sat down, we told her everything that we wanted, and she added all of that, and it was over $6,000. And so we went ahead, we paid the deposit. It was like 2,000 something. That February of 2021, we had it booked. So fast forward, all of 2021, we're planning, we're trying to figure out all of the other things, you know. And also the next payment wasn't supposed to be due until the next June of 2022. And so we had a lot of time to get that. So because the way the payments were, we did the deposit, and then the next payment was June 2022, and then the final deposit was a month before the event, August 2022. So everything else we're getting ready for. We're looking for my dress, all of that. Fast forward a little bit more in 2021, I get pregnant in October or September, and so everything kind of paused for us. Everything just kind of switched to baby mode. It was no longer wedding mode. It was still in the back of our minds, of course, but everything was like baby mode. We gotta get ready for the baby. We were getting everything ready for the baby. We having the baby shower. We have all of those expenses too. Everything just happened all at once. And so fast forward to June, I have my baby June 14th, and payment was due June 20 something. I want to say the 25th. So then they start to email us about getting our documents and stuff ready for the actual event, like getting the ABC license and turning it into them, things like that. You know, all of the wedding things. And obviously it was taking us a minute to do that because we have a newborn baby. They knew about us having a newborn baby, so they were pretending to be patient with us, and we did actually pay the June payment on time. Everything was on time. We were paying everything in full. And so by this time, the payment was, I want to say $1,200 something. It was like $1,200, $1,250. We paid the $2,500, paid the $1,250. All that money is spent already. Now, we did know in the very first meeting that if we ended up not having the wedding there, that we did not get our money back. We did know that. And so when we paid the deposit, we was like, all right, everything's non-refundable. We have to have it here. And so we didn't know that, and she made that very, very clear. And it's actually in the contract. That part is in the contract. This whole time we're having a meeting, we're just talking about the things that we already discussed with Rebecca, because now it's a new person. We're gonna call her Samantha. We already talked to Rebecca about. The actual final meeting was August 25th, a month before the wedding. That was supposed to be the final meeting where everything's turned in, everything's paid in full. But being that we just had a baby, and we did not plan for the baby, like it wasn't like let's go and have a baby, you know what I mean? Like, he was a surprise. We did not have the final payment, which I forgot how much that was. It was like 2 something, but we didn't have it right then and there. She said that, well, you still have time to pay, and in the contract it actually says that you do have time to pay, but every business day that it's late, it's a $5 late fee for just every business day. And so I was like, okay, cool, we have some time to come up with the $2,000. Now, y'all, in that meeting, she did not say that the event was going to be canceled if it wasn't paid immediately, which is what happened. She told me, because we were on a Zoom call, she told me that we were just going to go over all of the things that that we had already told Samantha. She was going over everything that we already told Rebecca that we wanted, just to make sure that that's what we wanted, we were still going to get, all that. Now, I told y'all Rebecca already put all of that in the price. So Samantha's like, okay, yeah, I was just making sure, like, you wanted to keep all of those things. And she just listed everything that we had said that we wanted. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep all of that. So she was like, before the call ended, she was like, okay, and I'm gonna send you the invoice of everything and what we talked about today. And I was like, okay, I don't know why I would need a new invoice, but okay. So she sends me the invoice like literally immediately as soon as we get off the call, and the price literally jumps like so high. Like, it's like an extra 500, an extra 400, like it's like a whole bunch of extra money. And it's still like below, actually no, I think it was like just hitting 7,000. I don't remember, just hitting 7,000 or something like that. She was just adding extra. And it was all the things that I literally already told Rebecca that we wanted, and she claimed that she already put into the invoice. But apparently she didn't. I don't know. But she told us that everything was already included into the invoice. But according to Samantha, everything was not in the invoice and she added it. So I emailed Samantha. I was like, you know what? Because I knew like that was literally impossible for us to pay that within a month, and we just had a baby. I had emailed Samantha. I was like, you know what? It's actually fine. We could take off the Global lights. We could take off like all the unnecessary things that we didn't really necessarily need. It was just things that we saw and we thought it was cute. And so she went ahead and took off a lot of those things, and it was still like a lot of money. I thought I was tripping for a second, but my mom and my husband were both there when we were speaking to Rebecca, and it was like, no, that's what she said. It was already in there. It was already included. It's now September. It's cutting close. I still don't have my dress. There's still a lot of things that need to be done, because the whole thing with my dress, like I just couldn't find like the right dress, and I ended up going with my grandmother's dress that she wore when she renewed vows with my grandfather, which it was a beautiful dress. I just could not find the right dress, but as soon as I saw my grandma's dress, that was my dress. And so all I needed to do was I literally got it tailored to me. I want to say like 2 weeks before the wedding. So everything was like literally crunch time. During all of this, the whole like month of September, we are getting our last minute marriage counseling with our pastor. we're like trying to figure out, like we told her where the wedding was going to be, and her she had an event there that was thrown for her. And so when she heard where it was, her face immediately was like no. But she didn't say anything just yet. She looked a little iffy about it. It's literally a week before the wedding, and I get an email like the morning before we go to counseling, and it's saying that if we don't pay the remainder of the balance by the 18th of September, then they were going to cancel the event and all the money will be lost. So I get that email and I go and look through the contract, and I'm like, does it literally say, like, I was like, does it say that they will cancel it? Because I don't see that anywhere. I never saw it anywhere. And I'm like, did they send me a new contract, like trying to be slick, or like what happened? Because they never mentioned that. I emailed them. I was like, so I don't see where it says in the email, like, or in the contract where you guys will cancel. So they just, and we even called, and Samantha was like, no, that's just how it is. You know, it's gonna get canceled if the money isn't paid. And we told her the situation, and she was like, yeah, unfortunately, like, she just was not trying to hear it. We just like, all right, obviously, you know, I get that it's a business, but being like that, just, for one, like, morally is crazy, it's insane. I just felt like completely blindsided, and the fact that this was put on to me like literally a week before my wedding, and they have like no remorse, none of that. I tell my husband, he's like panicking about it. We tell our pastor, and she tells us like why she don't like them like that. And so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Our pastor's trying to help us figure out what we're gonna do. And because literally we even asked them, well, can we, I know it says in the contract that the money will be lost, but like something, like, can y'all help us with something? Like, be a good person, like, at least once. And we were like 1,000% going to pay them their money, of course, like, we're not like that. And it was going to be before the wedding, like, we were going to pay them. They were just like, no, it has to be paid by this day. We was like, you know what, okay. Doesn't matter that it's literally a week beforehand. All these people are paying money to come out here to come to our wedding. We paid all this money, like, and it's not like I said before, they stay booked up. It's not like y'all are losing money. Y'all are going to get your money anyway. But it's like, whatever. So my pastor was like, you know what, y'all literally have a sanctuary right there. Y'all can get married here. She's really a real one for that. But literally our invitations, everything said that specific place. But we was like, you know what, whatever, we'll just go ahead. We used Evite. We didn't send out actual physical cards or invitations. We used Evite, so we were able to just go on Evite and change the address. And it notified all of the guests. Let me put these lashes on. So that wasn't an issue, changing the address like that. And also like all in the same area on the same side of the water. Actually, it being where it was a lot easier for everybody, for a lot of people, more so. We ended up just having it at our church. Lost all of our money. I could sue because I looked once again in the contract, and it did not say at all that we would our event would be canceled. But I feel like nobody has ever challenged them or tried to challenge them. They didn't at no moment did they verbally say, hey, you know, this will happen if you don't pay at the right time. They just kept saying, like, the contract said that you would just have like late fees, all of that. Like, never did it say, or did they say, that it will be canceled. So that was my only thing. It would be different if I completely knew, you know, and I wouldn't be upset about it. But all of our money is gone, and we had to find a new, getting the, you know, the actual ceremony part where we had the ceremony at was pretty easy. It was the whole reception part, and we had to find a whole new place for the reception, and we had to pay for that too. It was only, my mom knew the persons. Still, like, we had to come out of our pocket again to try and find something else. And it was just a mess. And I didn't even want to, like, we were gonna have the reception and the ceremony at that place, because we didn't want everyone to have to drive elsewhere, you know what I mean? And like where it was, there's a hotel. Our guests could have stayed at that hotel, parked at the hotel, you know, it was just so convenient. And now we had to make a whole bunch of different changes, because now at the reception place, there was hardly any parking. It was just, but honestly, I had just got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. At this point, I just want to marry my husband and officially become a family. That was just all I cared about at that point. Like, I was just so over everything. So yeah, that was the story time on the wedding venue, the original wedding venue, and how much of an asshole they are. I would never ever even thinking about them again to host an event. I would never refer them to anyone, because I just feel like yeah, you know, you gotta run your stuff as a business, but like, just sometimes you gotta be, I don't know, personally me, if that was my business, I would have been so understanding. Like, not only did we pay everything on time besides that last payment, we literally were doing everything we were supposed to, but we just, you know, we just had a baby, and all like that just changes everything. So I would have been more understanding and like helped out in some kind of way, especially being that Samantha was a manager there. Like, she could have did something, you know what I mean, like tried to help us out a little bit. But obviously, I don't know, hey, they'll get their karma. I will see you guys next time. Bye.